Tonight on NewsCenter, the Alumni Association discusses plans for Morehead's first virtual homecoming. Students discuss the parking on Morehead's campus. We speak with the president of Morehead State University about changes made to the academic calendar. This and much more to come tonight on NewsCenter.
Good evening and welcome to NewsCenter. I'm Cassidy Stearman here with Keneally Roberts. Here's what's making headlines for October 1st, 2020.
The first recipient of the Kathy Goebel Gullett Memorial Scholarship has been named this week. McKenna Pelfrey, a Painesville native and freshman at Morehead State University, says there are no words to describe how much this means to her because Kathy was such a positive influence in so many lives. The scholarship is intended for graduates of Johnson Central High School who plan on majoring in education.
Students and faculty from the Department of Agriculture are working to improve the health and wellness of Morehead State's Browning Orchard. The Orchard's annual festival will be put on hold. MSU Farm Manager Joe Fraley says they are working specifically on the health of the trees. He says staff and students are planting new trees to replace those damaged by a late frost back in May. The department is also using this time to improve other aspects of the property.
The parking lot of the Athletic Academic Center at Morehead State will look a little emptier this year, as MSU's homecoming will be held virtually. NewsCenter has more.
Homecoming is normally a time where current students and alumni can get together and celebrate their experiences at MSU. This year, the festivities fall on October 16th and 17th. Assistant Director for Alumni Relations and Development at MSU, Allison Cottle, says homecoming will look a bit different this time around.
This year, in the midst of the pandemic, we wanted to give alumni the opportunity to think about Morehead and remember their time on campus and give them the ability to celebrate MSU in their own homes and connect with some other alumni through some virtual engagement opportunities.
Cottle says there are lots of events planned for both students and alumni to still receive some level of interaction.
So while alumni and students won't be able to mingle and meet each other and have the traditional homecoming experience, such as the tailgate beside the football stadium before the game, we're offering some unique opportunities for alumni to do some fun things at home. For example, we're hosting a virtual tailgate. Any alumni that signs up to participate in what we're calling a home gate will be entered to win a variety of prizes. One of the grand prizes of the drawing is an MSU apron that they can wear while grilling out at their own home. We'll also be providing alumni with a virtual digital cookbook with some recipes from some MSU Eagles, such as head men's basketball coach Preston Spradlin and some other familiar names that alumni or students might know from around the university.
Even though the annual homecoming football game has been canceled, Cottle says other virtual events will take its place.
We will have the opportunity for alumni and students alike to join in with some of the athletic staff to learn what's happening with MSU athletics. And in addition to that, there's also a lot of other virtual opportunities, such as a virtual campus tour. Perhaps alumni haven't been able to come back to campus for a while. We're having virtual tours of campus that are newly renovated or new aspects of campus.
In what are increasingly unprecedented times, Cottle says the Alumni Association is working hard to ensure any member of the Eagle family is able to be involved with this year's homecoming celebration.
We have events for future Eagles, such as a coloring contest. We have an MSU Eagle homecoming bucket list that is a list of the top 10 things that you and your family should do to celebrate MSU's homecoming. And then, of course, we have our trivia night and our decades reunions on Zoom, as well as some other interactive events throughout the weekend.
For more information on how you can get involved, visit alumni.moreheadstate.edu. For NewsCenter, I'm Keneally Roberts.
We'll be right back with your weather forecast after the break.
Quarantine has been a strain on us all, but here are some things you can do to keep your mood and spirits up. Keep in touch with friends over the phone or through apps like Skype or Discord. Pick up a hobby to help pass the time and keep your mind focused. Going for a run outside is a great way to stay in shape and can be a fun activity. And if you need help during these tough times, counseling and health services is available for telehealth appointments from 8 to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Call 606-783-2055.
Come on down to your one-stop place for anything you need on campus. The bookstore is your place to get any school supplies or art supplies that you might need. After that, you can head upstairs to grab a bite to eat. If you need to study or hold a meeting, go to the third floor for a quiet place to sit. So head on down to ADUC. We'll see you soon.
Oh, are we doing the promo now?
Eagleman, Morehead State University's first superhero premieres next semester, only on MSU TV.
Hello Eagles, let's get you all caught up on this week's weather forecast. Currently in Morehead, we're sitting at 67 degrees. It's partly cloudy. The humidity is sitting at 34% and winds are at 9 miles an hour. Across the Bluegrass, Morehead currently is sitting at 67, along with Lexington, Frankfort, Louisville, and London are at 68. Ashland's at 70, and Bowling Green's at 71, and Paducah is topping us out at 72 degrees. For tonight, it's going to be mainly cloudy with a low of 41. There's a 10% chance of precipitation, and the sun's going to be setting at 7:15. For tomorrow, we're going to have a high of 61. It's going to be partly cloudy, and the sun's going to be rising at 7:31. For a look at your 7-day forecast, Thursday, which is today, is going to be sitting at 68, partly cloudy with a low of 41 tonight. Tomorrow is going to be 61, also partly cloudy with a low of 43. Saturday is going to be 62, again partly cloudy, and it's going to be a low of 46. Sunday we're going to have a little change here. We're actually going to have some showers into the late evening. It's going to be, the high for the day is going to be 61 degrees, and it's going to be a low of 45. Monday is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 63 and a low of 42. And Tuesday is going to be 70 with a low of 53, and Wednesday is going to be 74 for the high for that day. And both Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be sunny. Now let's kick it back off to Keneally and Cassidy for a look at your sports update.
Thanks, Logan. The Cincinnati Bengals traveled to take on the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field this past Sunday. The game went into overtime and ended with a tie of 23-23. A major highlight of the game included Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow throwing 2 touchdowns to wide receiver T. Higgins. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz drove the ball downfield in overtime, and kicker Jake Elliott had the opportunity to win the game, but given the false start of the offense, the game ended in a tie instead. The Bengals will be back in action at 1 p.m. this Sunday, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
A COVID-19 outbreak within the Tennessee Titans has caused the NFL to postpone the Titans game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4 players and 5 staff members for the Titans have tested positive for the virus. The league announced they will be rescheduling the game, so those who were in contact with the positive players and staff will have ample time for testing. The Titans have closed down their practice facilities indefinitely. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert says it's difficult to see how football will continue to be played this fall. That's all for sports. Now back to our news update.
Camden Carroll Library has extended their hours of operation for the work week. The library will be open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday and will close at 6 p.m. on Fridays. If students are looking to get work done over the weekend, the library is open on Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and students can utilize the library from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays. With these modifications to the hours, the library will still remain closed on holidays and breaks.
It can be hard to find a parking spot on college campus, and Morehead State is no exception. NewsCenter talked to several students to hear their thoughts on the parking at MSU.
You're kind of stuck if you get a overflow parking pass because you're stuck between the overflow lot on 60 or the BCM lot, which is a little bit closer. It's not as much of a hike as it is out to the lot on 60, but even though I had gotten the parking pass before the beginning of the semester, I walked out there and I found a parking ticket, and so I walked to the UPD office to try and get that sorted out, and they were able to void it for me. And then on the way back, they gave me a new parking pass thing to sort of indicate that I had it, even though I already had the other one. And on the way back, I had already gotten another parking ticket, but luckily I was able to go get that one voided as well.
So parking on campus is kind of a struggle. It seems like there are spots, like all the student spots are full a majority of the time. So really paying for a student pass isn't even worth it because most of the time you end up having to park in overflow, which is also full a lot of times. I just feel like they need to change some of the, labeling in some of the spots and zones to allow more student parking and also parking that's closer to the dorms.
I've opted out for the student pass 2 years in a row just because the parking garage and everything, I figured it would be the easiest way to do it. Plus, the overflow lot being across the bypass can be kind of tedious, especially if you need to get to your car late at night. It's a long walk, it's dark, But with the student lot pass, I guess you do get more options. However, there's always been a ton of people parking on campus, so you'll spend a solid anywhere from 15-20 minutes looking for a space. And not all the student lots are really marked well, so there's a lot of confusion on campus sometimes about what's a student lot and what's not.
I live in Andrews, but I can never find a parking spot anywhere close. I have to park all the way across campus just to even find a spot, and that's really difficult for somebody like me. And so they really need to put more parking spots in. They need to make it more actually accessible. It's not accessible enough.
We'll be right back with more news after the break.
Saving money can be hard to do, but it can be done. Tip number 1, use a spreadsheet to track how much you're spending and see where you can cut corners. Tip number 2, find a free browser extension that allows you to use coupons online such as Honey and Wikibuy. Tip number 3, use your meal plan. Being a college student is no time to be a picky eater. Now jump out there and spend wisely, MSU.
You're just gonna throw everything away?
We both know this isn't working out. We shouldn't have to keep trying to make it work. It should just work.
What happened to forever? What happened to everything you ever promised me?
I meant it. In the moment.
No, you can't do that. You can't make promises and then decide to take them back.
Things are different now. You're just not willing to admit it. That was a good take.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden clashed in one of the most bizarre presidential debates our country has ever seen. The two candidates discussed their plans on important topics such as healthcare, the economy, and COVID-19 pandemic. Both Trump and Biden were given 2 minutes per segment to elaborate on their plans. According to CBS News, Trump interrupted Biden a total of 73 times. Several sources say the moderation rules will change before future debates to help combat this issue and ensure candidates receive equal and fair time to share their ideas.
The MSU Convergent Media Practicum has something new for students interested in filmmaking. NewsCenter was there to get the details.
It's over, Director. Give up now before it's too late.
Never. You'll never stop me from making the world's most perfect movie.
MSU Magazine gives Convergent Media Practicum students an opportunity to produce their own shows.
Basically, a bunch of students in the practicum wanted to have their own shows. Well, we couldn't have so many shows at once, so Tim Creekmore decided to make a show filled with people's shows. And this honestly benefits every practicum student because you can get crew experience on those shows, you can get directing experience, writing experience, editing experience. It is so freelance, you can do whatever you want with it. And it's great for a resume.
MSU Magazine has several shows, and due to the impact of COVID-19, segment producers had to make changes to production.
My show is basically pointing out the absurdities of college and flipping it on its head. It is so out there because whenever I first got to college, it was super jarring. Like so many weird things happening all the time, and I wanted to make a show about it.
So Community Walk is chronicling the 4-episode adventures of 2 RAs in Alumni Tower. That's the very simple version and the antics that they get up to. COVID has affected this process so much. You now have to be 6 feet away from your actors. You can't touch them whatsoever, which really changes what you can do in your show. And sometimes it's hard to make sure that everyone's following guidelines, like wearing a mask.
Eagleman is all about a superhero. His name's Eagleman, who protects the campus of Morehead State. He is a student who goes to class. He's just like every other student, goes to school, kind of like Superman, how like he's Clark Kent and then he's also Superman. One of the biggest changes is we had to rewrite the whole show. It's just a really big hassle. Like we had to change a lot of the fight scenes. Pretty much we had to rewrite the entire show from scratch.
Although changes had to be made to each segment, students gain benefit by adapting to difficult circumstances, and their production experience can have an impact on their future careers.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't even have a show until they're like 23. I have my first show as a sophomore at 19. I mean, it can't get much better than this.
Personally, I really want to pursue acting and maybe writing because I've always wanted to work for SNL. And so, you know, MSU Magazine is kind of like the perfect stepping stone and practice ground to write skits and see what you can and can't do.
Not only are we doing what you see on camera, like acting, we're doing a lot behind the scenes that no one sees, and it takes a lot of time. All this work I've been putting into, it's really making up for it. So yeah, it's been great.
Reporting for NewsCenter, this is Stephen Banks.
2 MSU freshmen have been awarded scholarships from the Morehead Women's Club. WTVQ reports the organization provides awards to full-time incoming freshmen every year. This year, the Women's Club chose 2 Rowan County Senior High School graduates, Riley Hall and Riley Thompson. Hall is a nursing major, while Thompson is majoring in biomedical sciences. Each scholarship is a one-time award of $600 and is given to female graduates of either Rowan County High School or Lakeside Christian Academy.
The Rowan County Road Department is replacing a bridge on Little Perry Road here in Rowan County. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet began the $670,000 project this week. Roadwork schedules may change, and motorists are being asked to pay attention to road signs and keep the safety of workers in mind while traveling.
Changes to Morehead State's academic calendar has made the school year shorter than usual. NewsCenter checked in with several students and President of Morehead State, Dr. Jay Morgan, to see how these changes will benefit everyone here at the university.
COVID-19 has not only affected students' class schedules and faculty's schedules, but it has also changed the format for the 2020 through 21 academic calendar. Instead of students having a fall break this semester and a spring break next semester, students will have to attend classes on these days.
So when the question was originally posed to me by the provost, Dr. Russell, he had asked me, he said, Emily, I know you're not going to like this as a student, but what do you feel about us kind of tweaking the academic calendar for the spring semester and potentially taking away spring break? I sat on it for a minute and I said, you know, if we're looking at the health and safety of our students, faculty, and staff on campus, the best decision would to be take spring break away. The reason I say this is if we give students, faculty, and staff the opportunity to have a week to go wherever they want, that may be high-risk areas like Florida and the East Coast on the beaches, this could be detrimental to our COVID numbers here on campus.
Honestly, I do think it's the best thing for them to do to send us home as early as they can with all the coronavirus cases spiking. And I do think it is unfortunate that we won't be getting a fall break or anything like that. But we do what we have to do in order to keep everyone safe.
With the modification, actually there were two of them. The two modifications that we decided to employ were one, to eliminate fall break, to keep individuals from traveling. We also thought that might be a peak time when COVID-19 cases might be rising some because of the normal cold, cough, and flu season that you see that starts sometime in October normally. And we also chose, through a lot of discussions, to end our semester for this fall on November 24th, right before Thanksgiving.
Reporting for NewsCenter, I am Megan Jones.
Disney is set to lay off 28,000 theme park employees due to the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. With several parks closed and others limiting park guests, the company has taken a significant financial loss. Josh DeMauro, head of parks at Disney, says a decision of this magnitude is not easy. Disney's parks in Japan, Shanghai, Paris, Hong Kong, as well as the themed park in Florida have reopened with limited capacity, while California's parks remain closed until further notice.
Dr. Elizabeth Nelson, an assistant professor at Morehead State, is conducting a study on dating experiences from the perspective of men who drink alcohol. The purpose of this study is to investigate male and female interaction and gauge the effects in mood and attention. Individuals who are eligible will earn $10 an hour for their participation. To see if you qualify to participate in the study, or for more information, scan the QR code located on flyers across academic buildings on campus. We'll be right back after the break.
Hey, I'm just now leaving the library. I'll be back in the dorm in just a few minutes, okay? All right, I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, I'm about to pass break right now. We should watch some movies and make popcorn or something and have fun. Okay, bye.
that's all the news we have for you this evening. Tune in next Thursday for your weekly news update. And from all of us here at NewsCenter, thanks for watching.